Something's gone badly for my Charles. Was it the man who was just here?
No, a fellow who docks his cruiser in the marina just dropped by for a moment.
Then what is wrong, Charles?
Business problem. I'll have it solved shortly.
Oh.
Another challenge for the Green Hornet. His aide, Cato, and their rolling arsenal, the Black Beauty. On police records, a wanted criminal, the Green Hornet is really Britt Reed, owner-publisher of the Daily Sentinel. His dual identity known only to his secretary and to the district attorney. And now, to protect the rights and lives of decent citizens, rides the Green Hornet.
Filing a story in about an hour.
If it's important, call me. Miss Carey and I'll be at the cotillion room.
It's the city desk, Mike. Would you take it on line 4?
Oh, thanks, Casey. Yeah? Yeah. Let me ask the boss how he wants to play it. He's vice commodore at the yacht club there. They fished a guy out of the Bayshore Marina a while ago.
Dead?
Very.
Who was he?
A private eye named Nat Pyle. Remember him?
Yes.
Doesn't seem big enough to break up any of the pages for this edition.
No, it doesn't, Mike.
We'll hold it for a replay. Nice to have made your acquaintance, Miss Carey.
That was an excellent show we saw tonight. Provocative dialogue, interesting situations.
Provocative dialogue and interesting situations make me hungry.
I hope you have something appetizing in your refrigerator.
No cotillion room?
Unfortunately, in the publishing business, you have to stay sort of loose and cool.
I'm learning all about the cool part.
I'm sorry, Elaine. I'll take you for a cruise on my boat Saturday. I'll drop you off at your apartment.
I know exactly where my apartment is, Mr. Reed. No, it's a pity your father didn't leave you an insurance company instead of a newspaper.
Losing your touch?
Nat Pyle is dead.
Murdered?
I don't know. The first report is that he drowned. But is it just a coincidence that he was here today trying to sell me information on Glenn Connors?
What are you going to do?
I have to talk to Scanlon. If it was a murder, it's time he was brought into it.
Can I help?
As a matter of fact, you can. If he really had information to sell, there should be a record of it in his office. You know the address?
Yes. How do I get in?
As a reporter, looking for a photograph of the dead man. You may have to bribe someone to let you in. Go to the cashier and draw out some money.
I was hoping you'd say that, boss. On the way back, I think I'll stop at the cotillion room for a hamburger. Be ashamed to waste your reservation.
up?
You know a private investigator named Nat Pyle?
Yeah, I don't have much use for him.
He died tonight. It appeared accidental, but I think it was murder.
Well, what's your interest?
This.
What about it? This story's 3 years old.
Pyle was in my office today. He wanted $25,000 for a lead that would show that Glenn Connors is not only alive, but hiding in the city.
No, I don't buy that.
Neither did I.
What's your point?
If Pyle had sold his information to someone else and was killed because of it, it must be checked out.
How'd he die?
Drowned. Body discovered about 10.
City Morgue. Sergeant Anderson.
Sergeant Anderson, this is District Attorney. Do you have the body there of a man named Nat Pyle?
Yes, sir.
Autopsy completed?
Yes, sir.
Homicide?
Doc lists the death as accidental. Blood test showed a very high alcoholic content. Considerable water in the lungs.
Any bruises?
Slight. Not necessarily related. The man was pretty drunk. He could have received them when he fell overboard.
Thanks, Sergeant. Well, I think you might as well write that off. Pyle was a lush and an opportunist.
You don't write off the chance that Glenn Connors may still be alive. He was one of the men who framed my father. Hornet sting. Check. It's been forced. Casey wouldn't do that. Look. Microfilm. It's Casey's. Whether Glenn Connors is alive or dead suddenly doesn't seem so important.
Mr. Powell could certainly get himself in some jams, but this is the first time he's ever gotten me in one.
And you are his secretary.
Overworked and underpaid. But I don't see what business it is of yours. Whatever your name is, you're not one of our clients.
Why were you so late in the office tonight?
I was trying to catch up on some filing and make out a few bills until these rejects from the human race came barging in.
Was Mr. Pyle's secretary. He must have entrusted you with a great deal of his business.
In what way?
He went to see Britt Reed, the publisher of the Sentinel, yesterday. How much did he tell him?
Why don't you ask Mr. Pyle? He lives on his cruiser right here in the marina.
Mr. Pyle had a most unfortunate accident this evening. He drowned.
Oh, no.
That's why I'm so curious to know about his conversation with Mr. Reed. See, I know that Mr. Pyle offered to show something to Mr. Reed, and I also know that he didn't show it. He told me. Therefore, it must be someplace in his office. It's not in the boat.
I'm sorry. I can't help a bit.
The young lady will be our guest in one of the cabins below decks, gagged entire. My apologies.
He appears to know nothing.
She knows about my interest in Pyle now, and that makes her dangerous. Too dangerous to release. We'll take a cruise. Watch dawn on the water and return tomorrow evening. Would you enjoy that, Nedra?
Morning, Commodore.
Mr. Delaclaire hasn't moved the Lady Capri to another berth, has he?
No, sir. We helped him cast off before dawn. You can reach him on your ship to shore if you want. But he said he'd be back by nightfall.
On shore! Call the harbor police. We picked up a girl, dead, about 5 miles offshore.
Casey.
To start a fishing trip.
Yes.
With some heavy gusts this morning, she may have been caught by a boom swinging over.
You know who she is?
I think so. She looks a lot like the woman who spent some time aboard the Lady Capri, friend of Mr. Delaclaire's.
Mike Axford out of a staff meeting.
The Lady Capri is under constant surveillance, both helicopter and Coast Guard cutters.
Good.
Good. I hope you know what you're doing. Delaclaire carries a lot of weight.
This is a Lady Capri, Delaclaire's boat. I had it blown up from the microfilm in Casey's shoe. I asked myself, why would Nat Pyle have that photograph? So I went to the marina to find out, and I found this girl, dead.
Well, that's Glenn Connors with her, but, who's she?
Her name is Nedra Vallon, an actress of sorts in European films. She was quite an item with Delaclaire. And this.
This? Well, this is just a list of heavy construction firms here in town.
All controlled by Delaclaire's holding company.
What's the connection between Connors and Delaclaire? Delaclaire's one of the richest men in the world. He's a society figure, press-shy, elusive.
Try this. Delaclaire and Connors are one and the same.
What? How?
The easy answer would be plastic surgery.
Well, that's too bizarre to believe.
Let's get to the truth. Mike, you there?
Yes?
I want no questions, just action. Replate the first page. Top banner. 2-column box story under my byline. Headed, Glenn Connors really dead. Make that a question mark.
But I...
Mike, don't argue, just listen. This is the story. This is a personal vendetta by myself as publisher and editor of this newspaper against Glenn Connors' racketeer. Paragraph. For more than 3 years, our city has thought Connors dead, murdered in the same kind of gangland reprisal he himself conducted so ruthlessly. Paragraph. He is not.
Up in the marina.
So Pyle was lying. He did sell his material to Reed.
Yeah, but how do we keep Reed from spilling more?
Maybe I can help. You can use some, Mr. Delaclaire. You have a girl aboard. May I call you Connors?
You know that? You know a lot.
I make it my business. I have a proposition. It depends on whether the girl is still alive.
A romance for the Green Hornet?
Let's say I find her useful. Is she alive?
Yes.
Excellent facial transformation. Except for a few hairline scars you'd have to be looking for. Glenn Connors. How did you manage to find and replace Charles Delaclaire? Easily one of the most elusive financiers in the world.
That's what made it simple. No one really knew him except a foreign actress that he was once interested in. She suggested a plan of action, and I took it.
Andrew Fowler. If she was so important to your plan, why was she killed?
Oh, very unfortunate about poor Nedry. You see, while my men were searching Pyle's office, they couldn't find what they were looking for, but they did find ample proof that she was working with Pyle, so naturally she had to go.
Now all you have to do is liquidate Delaclaire's worldwide holdings. Take the money and run.
That's right. What do I do about Britt Reed?
I propose to eliminate Reed for you.
Can you tell me how you're going to accomplish that?
You step aside, please. Satisfied?
Yes. What do you ask?
The girl free and unharmed.
Agreed.
And 1/3 of the take.
That could amount to millions.
2 for you to every dollar for me, and you'd be completely in the clear. I think I'm being extremely fair.
All right, we have a deal. When?
Later. I have reason to believe that Britt Reed is coming aboard his boat tonight.
How do you know that?
The same way I know about you, Connors. You keep asking questions, and I might let Reed expose you.
I'm sorry, trust is not one of my virtues. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Do you have a chart of the area?
Yes.
I'll dispose of Reed and leave my mark. It will be accepted as the work of the Green Hornet.
Reed berths his boat here.
When you hear the sound of the Hornet sting, you'll be a witness to his death.
Of course, you realize it may take some time to dispose of Delaclaire's holdings.
I want the girl immediately after I fulfill the contract. The other, I'll collect later. Mr. Connors. Anything, Cato?
He sent a man out to round up the crew.
Men are getting ready.
Good. Bring the girl out.
Yes, sir.
That takes care of the first part of a bargain.
What about the second?
How can I tell you when the operation's completed? You're not easy to reach.
I'll know. I'll reach you. I want you to make a break for it.
Why?
Just go, no questions. Delaclare. You mean Mr. Connors? I'll call Scanlon. Pick them up.
I already called him. He's on his way.
So are we. Make certain we are informed.
Mr. Reed, you got secrets you're keeping from me, who was raised at your daddy's knee, so to speak, and who raised you at my knee, so to speak?
No, Mike.
Then how come this? Connors assumes Delaclare's identity. He dies and his gang gets caught. Yet the Green Hornet, who was probably in it deeper than Connors, he gets away. And the DA is still getting roses.
Mr. Scanlon is a very efficient public servant, Mike. Breaking up the Connors-Delaclare affair was quite an accomplishment. I feel he deserves an editorial remarking on his dedication.
And forgetting all about the Green Hornet?
I can never forget about the Green Hornet. You won't let me. Come on, Elaine. It's a perfect day for sailing.
You know, if I were a man, I would devote myself to catching that dreadful Green Hornet.
Ha! Ha!
Don't put her down, Mike. She just might do it.